Hi, I'm Jorge Antonio Vallejos, and you're watching BlackCoffeePoet.com. I'm the creator and writer of this website, BlackCoffeePoet.com, and I also run my own YouTube channel called Black Coffee Poet, and I've got 112 videos with this one right now. So this is the continuation of a series called the Free Book Series. It's a vlog series, video blog series. I've done one before where my friend Marcia gave me 45 books. I wrote an article about it, and then a video accompanied that article. So recently, my friend Paula gave me 41 books, and I wrote a story called The Box of Books in Paula's Kitchen. The link to that article will be under this video, and this is the video that accompanies that. I talked a little bit about how Paula gave me the books and how I've been waiting for them, and a box is waiting in her kitchen, blah blah blah. But I didn't get into the 41 books, and that's what this video is about. So for all you bibliophiles, all you book lovers, you're gonna love this. And please do check my first installment in the free book vlog series. That link is also under this video. So let's get started. Since this is a poetry website and I am the Black Coffee Poet, we're going to start with the books of poetry that Paula gave me, which were actually the majority. So the first book that came out at me as soon as I opened the box was Byron. I'm interested, it's old poetry, but more than the poetry, there's a section of letters. This is selected poetry and letters. I love letters. I am a real letter writer, and I love reading letters. We've got Browning. Browning is another old guy, dead, long time, and this is all his poems. And it's a short book. I really like small books. These books are great to carry around. I take a lot of walks. I can just take it with me in the neighborhood. I can sit on a bench and read. Hopefully I'll understand it. Poetry of Mid-Century 1940/1960. Another book of old poems. Here we've got Earl Burney, Irving Layton, Margaret Avison, James Reaney, P.K. Page, Leonard Cohen, etc., etc. A lot of stuff in here. I do like Leonard Cohen, so I'm going to enjoy this. That's the first person I'm going to jump to in this anthology, and I'm sure I'll enjoy this. Here we have selected poems of Pratt, E.J. Pratt. What's interesting is that there's a library at University of Toronto that I go to called the E.J. Pratt Library. So I'm a little bit of a weirdo. I'll probably take this book there and read it. Seamus Heaney, The Spirit Level, Nobel Prize for Literature 1995. Awesome. Big name in the poetry world. You know, literature prize winner, the Nobel, the biggest you can get. I'm going to jump in this for sure. Alden Nolan, Selected Poems. I love the cover. Water, a cabin, mountains with snow. Beautiful. Hopefully the poems in here are just as beautiful. Karen Connolly, The Disorder of Love. Karen Connolly is a big Canadian writer. She's made a name for herself. She writes nonfiction, and I believe she also writes fiction, but she started getting published in poetry. So this is one of her earlier things, and the cover is very sexy. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I like it. John Montague, Selected Poems. Again, this is just a collection of John Montague's best, I'm assuming. And yeah, I like that kind of stuff. Instead of having to read 25 books that he wrote, I get to read, the best of. Cool. This I am very excited about. The Oxford Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. Indian from India, not native Indian from Canada. So that's cool. I haven't read much Indian poetry, and this is a whole anthology. Now, mind you, a lot of them are from like the 20s and the 30s, and that's cool too. I'd like to start reading more poetry from Indians right now, people like my age, people who are writing in 2012. I'm going to jump into that eventually, but I'll start with this. This is a very popular person, Suzanne Vega. I believe she is a singer. Anyway, this book's called The Passionate Eye, The Collected Writings of Suzanne Vega. So you've got like journal entries and a lot of poems, and there's even like a couple of interviews. I love reading interviews. That's pretty cool, so I'm excited to jump in that. This is a beautiful hardcover book of William Shakespeare's sonnets. And I've got to learn about that form, and I have enjoyed reading Shakespeare. I enjoyed reading Shakespeare in high school. Didn't always understand it. I used to rent the movies to try to watch them as well as read alongside. So we'll see what happens with this. Mornings Like This, Found Poems by Annie Dillard. Annie Dillard is very well known for her book, The Writing Life. Annie Dillard teaches writing. Annie Dillard is seen as one of these writing experts like Natalie Goldberg. I have read some parts of The Writing Life and I have enjoyed it. I'm going to continue reading that book. But now I'm really interested. What's Annie Dillard's poetry like? Dennis Lee, heard of him? This is just a short book. I like short books. I can read this in probably an hour, hour and a half, and he's a big name, so we'll see how it goes. Emily Dickinson, huge name. Her selected poems, cool. Now Joni Mitchell. Joni Mitchell is a big, music icon in Canada. Blah blah blah. So this is a book of her poems and lyrics. And it's really big. It's fat. I won't be taking this to many places. Maybe the coffee shop down the street. But I don't know much about Joni Mitchell. I just know that one of the Jacksons mentioned her in one of their songs. So Janet Jackson, sorry. And that's the first time I ever heard of Joni Mitchell. I've never even heard her music myself, but now I'll be able to read her music. So the Poems of Snowy-Eyed Country, Richard Willett, Raymond Selster. Love the cover. It's an owl. Great. Old book too. Tons of poems. I'm down with that. The Collected Poems of A.E. Hoosman. I love this cover as well. This is hardcover. This is probably from it is from a library. Property of Doon Library, Conestoga College. I don't know where Paula got this. The Ecstasy of Skeptics, poems by Stephen Hayton. Stephen Hayton is experimental. I'm not really that into experimental, but whatever. It was given to me. I'm gonna read it. You gotta read outside of your comfort zone. You gotta read everything. If you're a writer. Carrying Place, poems by Esther Spalding. Love the cover. Naked woman bent over. You don't see much of her, so you have to use your imagination, and I like that. The unseen is definitely more sexy than the seen. What I Remember from My Time on Earth by Patricia Young. I love the title already. And again, this is a painting of a woman on a horse. And so we'll see. She's got great reviews by, the big things in Canada, the big literature journals, Event and the Malahat Review. So we'll see how this one goes. Carol Shields. Carol Shields, Coming to Canada. Okay, this is a white woman. I usually think of coming to Canada of people like my mom and all my friends who are people of color. Whatever, but then again, Canada is stolen land, so her ancestors came at some point. So, whatever. Carol Shields. Interesting. Now, this is the pile that I'm really excited about that were part of this whole collection. Stephen Scobie, Ghosts, a Glossary of Intertext. So, why I like this book, and I don't know Stephen Scobie's work, I've read about him before, but what I like is that these are prose poems. And I'm right now writing prose poems. I've written prose poems before. I like prose poetry, so I'm interested in studying this book. Blues and True Concussion, 6 New Toronto Poets. I'm interested in this because I'm hoping that there's actually poems about Toronto. What I don't like about the book already is it's all white guys. How about giving a chance? Well, there's a woman in here as well. How about where are the poets of color? Where are the native poets? There's lots of them in Toronto as well. But that's the publishing industry. This is a reflection of it. It's all white. So, according to this book, the Toronto poets are white. Stevie Smith, the collected poems of Stevie Smith. When I was at Paula's before, I looked at this book and I liked a lot of the poems in here, and now she gave me the book, so I'm very excited about reading this. This is a classic. A Choice of Dreams by Joy Kogawa. Joy Kogawa is a Japanese-Canadian woman. She's a woman of color. As you know, my site focuses a lot on people of color, women of color, native people, etc. I'm very excited to read this book. I'm hoping that I can review it and interview Joy and maybe meet her and tape her one day. This is from 1974. Look how beautiful this old book is. It's big. I just love the pages and the font. I'm very, very excited, and there is the author right there, Joy Kogawa. I hope you can see that. And the cover is just gorgeous. Water with mountains and trees and stuff like that. It's a beautiful book, and I'm sure the contents are beautiful as well. Evelyn Lau, Oedipal Dreams. Evelyn Lau is an amazing poet. I'm sure you know her story. She was, nominated for the Governor General's Award when she was 21 in 1992 for poetry. And, she has a famous book called Runaway, the Diary of a Street Kid, which was made into a film. Evelyn Lau, I've heard her read in person. She's great. And I've recently read some of her poems in some magazines. She's good. So I'm very, very excited about reading this book. Now, this is a person who I love their work, Michael Crummy. I first discovered Michael Crummy in anthologies, and he's poor white working class man. This guy writes about like fishing and hard work and poverty. At least in this book, his earlier writings. I don't know what he writes now because now he's become this famous novelist. As is the case with a lot of people, they get published in poetry and then later on they're making all these books and stuff like that. But I love the name, Hard Light. You got a big freaking knife there. You got, people on a boat. Like, I come from a working class family. My mom's my mom is was a waitress, and I've had a family who've like cleaned hotels and been mechanics and stuff like that, and and back home farmers and stuff. So I'm really excited about reading this book. It's actually a book that I wanted from Paula's collection, and she's given it to me. So I'm very, very happy. And again, hopefully I can meet Michael Crummy one day and review this book, even though it's old, and interview him and tape him reading for the site. Now, The Weight of Oranges and Miner's Pond. These are two collections of poems in one book, and it's by Anne Michaels. Anne Michael is better known for The Fugitive Pieces. Great film. Haven't read the book yet, but I do have it. And Anne Michaels, I've heard her speak at UFT for Illuminato, the literature festival, about 3 years ago. She had a lot of good things to say. So I'm very excited about reading her poetry. So let's move on. What do we have here now? We'll go to nonfiction. So what Paula has given me are a few, not five nonfiction books out of the 41 books she's given me. Minding the Body, Women Writers on Body and Soul. So these are essays, and I love essays. I write essays, memoir essays. I've been published in memoir essays in Descant, the Kenyan Review, and a book called Crave It. So I love essays and learning from people. I am most excited about the essay in here by Judith Ortiz Coffer. She's Puerto Rican from the States. The Story of My Body. I have a book of Judith Ortiz Coffer's writing, poetry, and essays and stuff like that, and she's amazing. So I'm very excited about that. And then Linda Hogan, who's a Native American from the U.S. This one's called Department of the Interior. Those are the books that I'm going to jump to. The essays I'm jumping to first. As usual, this book is dominated by white folk. So I'm going to go to the Native woman, the Puerto Rican woman, and then I'll branch off after that and read the other stuff. But yeah, Minding the Body. It looks pretty good. So this is called Early Embraces. And again, as you see, there's white bodies on the cover. This is something, it's a running theme here in the publishing industry. Early Embraces, True Life Stories of Women Describing Their First Lesbian Experience. Again, two white women. Apparently there's only white lesbians out there. Anyways, so I'm really interested in this book. I'm excited about it. I love erotica and I love memoirs. So this is like a mixture of both. These are true stories. And the cool thing is that a writer who I respect and know, Carlene Pendleton Jimenez, is in here, and she's got a book, essay called Vaca Eyes. And so I'm very, very interested in jumping to her first, and then we'll see about everyone else. But yeah, I'm excited about this book. Erogenous Zones, an anthology of sex abroad. Again, two white folk, only white people have sex. But I'm very interested in this book. Um, so, hey man, I love erotica. You know what I mean? And this is an anthology of different peoples. Who do we got in here? The famous Henry Miller, Ernest Hemingway, and just a whole bunch of other names. Some that I don't know, which is great. T.E. Lawrence. You got all these big white names. But, you got a lot of different people in here. Women, too, which is great. And I'm going to be enjoying this, I'm pretty sure. So I'll be reading that soon. Homosexuality, a history. Awesome. Again, two white men. This is a running theme, as you can see. Um, you know, I don't I've got lots of queer friends and stuff, but part of being a friend and an ally is doing your own research. And so I'm gonna be reading this book. I'm sure it's gonna have like things in it that my friends aren't gonna agree with, some twisted views on history. But whatever, that's just the way history is. It's dominated by the victor and usually the white writer. So we'll see how this book turns out. The Penguin Book of Lesbian Short Stories. Again, a white woman on the cover. Um, so I'm not sure if this is fiction or nonfiction because it doesn't even say in the back. It says literature, so I'm not sure. So I'm really excited about this book. Again, you got big names: Kathy Acker, Dorothy Allison, Margaret Atwood, who's not queer, Anais Nin. Yeah. And we'll see who else is in here. A lot of big names. And the only name of color that I see here is Jewel Gomez. But she might not even be a color. She can be from Spain. Who knows? But anyways, thank you. I'll be checking this book out. So I was given a copy of the Vagina Monologues. Now, this is the second woman that has given me a copy of this. It's kind of seeming to me like a lot of people, just as many people who praise this book, are disappointed with this book. I was recently given a copy by a friend of mine who's a woman of color, and I was like, "Oh, you don't want to keep this?" And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "Okay." And now Paula, my friend, who is not of color, but she's queer and she's got good politics, also doesn't want this book. And I do remember going to see this play or a version of it because I think they change with an acquaintance who's a woman of color, and she was just not into it. I enjoyed some of it, to be honest. So we'll see. I'll read it and see what's up. But I'm noticing that people don't want to keep this book. People that I know with good politics. White Biting Dog by Judith Thompson. Love the cover. It's really, really cute. It's a play. I have no idea what it's about. But, plays of literature, gotta read. The Rez Sisters by Thompson Highway. This book won the biggest award in Canada for playwriting. He's won it twice, 2 years in a row. Started with this, and then it started with the other book. I forget what it's called, Kissing and Campus Casing or something like that. Anyways, I did read this play already. I like this play. There are problems with it, but it is a good play. And I got to meet Thompson Highway also. So now the last of the books, which I categorize as the spiritual or maybe religious section. The Power of Compassion by the Dalai Lama. I've never read anything by the Dalai Lama. I know that he's a huge figure. He's got a lot of followers. One of my very good friends is a follower of the Dalai Lama. And we're always hearing about compassion, Buddhists and compassion. Well, now I really know what people mean, because I think a lot of people don't really know what they mean when they mention Buddhism and compassion in the same sentence. I certainly don't. I've got my own views of compassion, and I've got my own spirituality that I practice, but I'm always open to learning new things. So I am going to read this, and again, it's a small book. It's a book I can carry anywhere. I love the pages. I'll be highlighting stuff that I like in the book and learning from the Dalai Lama. Cool. But again, I'm not Buddhist, and I'm not planning to become Buddhist, and I don't pretend to know anything about Buddhism. I'm going to start learning. These are two very cute books by a writer that I like, a lot of people like, Khalil Gibran. And Khalil Gibran is Lebanese. I'm half Lebanese. This is a book called The Wanderer, and this is a book called Sand and Foam. So, The Wanderer, I believe, are just like little short stories and stuff. And what a cute book. Like, again, I can take it anywhere. It's hardcover. It's going to last for a long time. And this is Sand and Foam. This one's proverbs and little sayings and stuff like that. So I'm very interested in reading this as well. And the last book, a book that I've been seeing for a very, very, very long time in bookstores and stuff. She's got a huge name. This is the book that put her on the map. A History of God. I don't use the word God personally. I say creator. I do believe in creator and the Most High. I have my own form of spirituality, but this is a book that talks about the 4,000-year quest of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And it's by Karen Armstrong. She also recently wrote a book in 2011, I believe, or 2010. She's a huge name. This book has been read by a lot of people. I've actually wanted to read it for a long time. People say that, it's pretty accurate and stuff like that. So I'm going to jump into it. So those are the 41 books that Paula gave me in a box. But then when she came down to visit me to give me that box, before she came down, she went to a secondhand shop owned by Mennonites. And because Paula is such a sweetheart, she bought me this. she already had 41 books to give me in a box, and she bought me this book, which is called Endangered Species. Writers talk about their craft, their visions, their lives. And the people that are in here are Alex Haley, Elmore Leonard, Joyce Carol Oates, Norman Mailer, and several other people. And they're just interviews. I interview people. So I like to read interviews as well so I can become a better interviewer. And I'm very excited for this book. So this has been the second installment in the vlog series Free Books. Thank you very much for watching blackcoffeepoet.com and the Black Coffee Poet YouTube channel. You can subscribe to blackcoffeepoet.com for free and the Black Coffee Poet YouTube channel, and I'm Black Coffee Poet on Twitter. Mind you, with the Twitter, I'm still learning it and I've still got to really start using it. I don't use it as much. But check out the website, blackcoffeepoet.com. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's updated. Every Friday is a video. You know, there's always different videos. And see the first series in the free books, the first installment in the series Free Books. This is installment number 2, and there will be an installment number 3 pretty soon, because a friend of mine, Mita, is giving me a ton of books as well. And I just got so many books around me that I've gotten for free. So thank you very much for joining me. Keep reading, keep writing, think positive. Peace out.